What is up, children of the interwebs and podcast listeners? We are back on the Woke podcast. I'm, of course, SN. We got the other boy, the usual.
What is
Lincoln.
up?
Hey, yes, there you go. We are currently enjoying our little break from Eternal Damnation for Christmas. This is the 22nd, I believe. So Christmas is uh, readily upon us. So I know everybody was going to get busy for that. So I was like, hey, it's been a while. Let's get another one out. So I'm going to be chilling a little bit. I think Lincoln is too. I think we don't really have the energy we normally do. At least myself, because I'm drawing a little right now, just relaxing, trying to savor the moment, if you will.
Uh, well, I guess I'll start with a little story I had this morning or this afternoon. But me and my dad, we went a bit car shopping, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how old my truck is.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Hey,
know
at
what my
least
truck
you
looks
have
like, right?
something.
Yeah, at least I have something. No first world complaints here. Um, but we went car shopping, right? And oh my god, bro, I thought my dad was gonna punch that guy in the face.
What happened?
All right, so we're buying a used car, right? And it's a truck, Toyota
Mm-hmm.
Tacoma, and he's selling this brand new one, basically stock, uh, SR5, I believe.
Mm-hmm. So
Um,
you were like trading it or like selling your other one?
we're just seeing the market, seeing how much they cost, you know.
Uh huh.
And so he came out and he said the two-wheel drive, it would it'd be around 3,300 and something.
Yeah.
And then the four-wheel drive would be 3,900,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which is a pretty big difference between the two. I mean, obviously, there's a whole nother transmission in there, so
Yeah, I
I'd
mean,
expect a big price jump, but a $6,000 price jump, that is a bit much. Um, both are
it was a three and a four.
no, 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 it was a two and a four,
Oh,
and it was a pretty big price jump, but my dad wasn't mad about that. So he's like, that's nice, and he wanted to see what the used cars were, right? He went to the used cars, right?
mm-hmm.
95,000 miles on it with some body damage. It's light body damage, but there's body damage and it's kind of noticeable.
Yeah.
And it's been used and stuff, and it's been kept kind of clean, a little dusty on the inside, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's selling it for 31,000, right? So it's like crazy because this is also two-wheel drive and all that.
Yeah.
The only difference between the two is that he added bottom step up bars, you know, the step up rack,
Yeah.
and the bumper was different. He had a metal bumper on there. Those step up racks are about $130 at most. Well, maybe not at most, but a good step up bar is like $130, and a bumper is like it depends, and at max I'm going 500 for the bumper they had on. It was decent. It looked nice on the vehicle, but it wasn't anything special.
Mm-hmm.
For $3,100, and it has almost 100,000 miles on it, right? And he's asking 31 for it used. So we do some negotiating, right? And my dad's like, he starts out real low. He's like 18. right? Super low.
Mm.
And he goes from 31 to 30, right? So it's like, okay, wait a second. Now the market price for this on Kelly Blue Book for like trade-ins and stuff for that
Yeah.
vehicle is like 21.
Oh boy.
Cheap. It is that's how much they're 21
Like
for a used.
average.
Yeah, for average, right? Well, it's a little bit lower than the average, right? And my
Mm.
dad's like, since this one also has body damage on it, and it's small, I would say it's good condition.
Wait, I forgot
There's
what
no
was like the new one's price.
The new one is the complete stock with the two-wheel drive is 34.
Okay. So the
And
used one is a two or a
is also a two
oh boy.
with a
Okay.
bumper and a step-up bar.
Mhm. Okay, I get it now. I got confused a little.
All right, and he's asking 31, and he brings it down. The final price he asked is 28. Right, this is final price on a 5-year-old, heavily used. Like that's 94,000 miles.
Mhm.
With body damage, and he's asking, bro. And he was asking, 28 for it, bro. My dad almost killed the dude. I swear, bro. Like he was so close to yelling. He was so close to yelling. When he's not yelling and he's controlling his voice, he kind of like stutters. It's like that scary stutter. He's
Mhm.
like, he's like, bro, I am telling you that if I would have traded this vehicle in, the max I would have gotten is 2,100. The max. And most car dealerships try to start as low as they can with a trade-in, because I mean it's a business. You always start low and you work your way uh, up when the company is trying to trade it into you, and when you're trying to buy it, you start to the low and you work your way up depending on how low they'll go,
Mhm.
right? And my dad's over there like 18. He raises it up to 20, right? He raises it up to I believe 2,200, right? Which is above its trade-in value. Well, it's above its third-party seller value. And we live here in Alabama, so we a Toyota
Yeah, yeah.
Tacoma like that. We can easily get one for 23. Except we probably would have uh we wouldn't have its history that well.
Yeah,
And my dad's like pissed, bro. He is angry. He's like, okay. We didn't even come to really buy it. We just came to fill out the market because in 2 more years we're gonna sell my truck because it's gonna meet the end of its life. It's 23 years old, 22 years old.
Mhm.
Um, 255,000 miles. I freaking love it, dude. It's huge. It is super spacious. Only problem is, it just lacks like regular standard features like powered windows and powered door and stuff like that. It's in a torn up state.
Mhm. So
So
so what do you guys decide? Did you just leave,
yeah, we just leave, bro. He was like, he
bro?
was like,
Where was this?
he was like, you know what? I'm sorry, sir. We can't go that low for you, and we just like kind of got kicked out. And my dad was like, like, bro, this nigga, this boy insulting me because every time he would come out with the new price, that'd be like $800 cheaper, $500 cheaper. He was like, here, just sign here, and you can take it home every single time. And he's like, homie,
Bro.
I'm literally asking $10,000 less on a used vehicle, dude. And he said it was because there was a package on it. We drove it, and you know how sometimes they have technology packages and everything.
Mhm.
The minimum value of a package that I'm looking at right now It's like $450 to $500 for the technology package. And by
Oh, so
technology
like they would add stuff to it.
and by add stuff to it, yeah, they would. But the
Mhm.
only thing they added to it was a navigation built in. So like
Yeah,
GPSs.
yeah, yeah,
Because it came standard with the it came standard with everything else. It came standard with rear view mirror. It came standard with blind spot, I think. Well, no, maybe they added that, but like rear view camera, that was standard on the vehicle. So it was just you don't go up $4,000 in price just because of a bumper, a navigation system, and
yeah. He see, it looks like he was just like, hey, maybe these
yeah,
guys don't know much about it, about like standard pricing for things. Maybe I could,
hassle it up.
yeah. I
The
mean,
first
it's just
he
like
was
selling
actually good.
everything.
The first guy, he was actually good. He was like, he's like, this seems like a better deal in my opinion. And he recommended us. But my
Yeah,
dad,
that's because
my
that's a
dad, he's
big
like a truck
thing.
person. He knows what he wants, and he knows how much he actually uses it. He was going for a 4-wheel drive, but he's like, I'm not retarded. I'm not gonna go, you know,
Yeah, I think a
get
big
this
thing
thing
is
stuck.
like a lot of people don't know much about pretty much a lot of like cars, especially. So like
Mhm.
these people, and because there's a big thing. It's like you're trying to make money versus be a good person and trying to sell stuff. So it's like you always got to be careful. Is this person really telling the truth, or are they trying to sell me, make the most amount of money? Because it's a business after all. You got to think about it, especially when it's something like so expensive, like a car or a house or something.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually looking it up on Kelly Blue Book right now, and I was just seeing what it was, and for a brand new one,
Yeah,
um,
your dad seems a lot knowledgeable, so
he is he's more knowledgeable than me about pretty much everything. But I'm looking it up on Kelly Blue Book, and it's like for a brand new 2021 Toyota Tacoma with the SR5 package, which I'm pretty sure is just stock. It's 3,200. And most people, vehicles have such a large profit margin that you can easily hassle it down. So we were we literally, and like, think about this, on a brand new Toyota Tacoma, brand new
hmm
2021, w- we had a deal for 3,200. We were able to bring it down. I believe it was 3,209 something, so 3,300. And he's asking 3,100 for a for a used one. And I'm like, yeah, you always offer high and then you slowly work your way down, slowly.
Stop saying
But
twenty
dude,
two
he wasn't.
hundred. That's $2,000.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Bro.
I
I'm
know,
sorry.
but it sounds bad.
I know it. I sound. But you know, he was like, dude, he was so mad. But he would not move down from the price. Like he would not move down from that $30,000 range. He just wasn't.
Yeah,
I
cause,
believe.
cause like I feel like it's like with like like phones and stuff. Like I don't
Mhm.
know if a car is like I don't like you can't really know the true price of it unless you like an engineer or something. So it's like, yeah, what do I really do?
Uh, like I'm not into trucks too much. What I am into is phones. I'm especially tech, really tech, but mainly phones. And, and I have some idea of the way phones go, but dude, flagships compared to these like premium mid rangers is such a huge profit margin.
Yeah.
It's crazy, especially when Apple does it, bro. They offer such little differences between the products, but it's enticing
Dude,
as
Apple is such a scam. But it's
dude.
it's
They're
like
so bad.
it's terrible, but it's like I do it too. It's like I'd rather have that than an Android. It's just
Mhm.
there's so many factors to it. Cause like Apple is
Because
sort of
I'm
like
so heavily invested in the specs and all that, I am more of an Android fan.
no,
Just because
I don't really care about the specs. I think it's just like their Apple is
how it
like so
performs.
big. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's so big. It has a lot of what do you call it? The ecosystem, like the App
Hmm.
Store versus the Play Store. The difference in like variety and people know like the thing is like app developers and people like that know that Apple is so big, so they tend to I guess prioritize that and try to
And
like
it's also the difference between Apple is their weakness is their strength. Apple only releases one, you know, system of smartphones per year. This is the
yeah.
most smartphones they've ever launched in a year, I believe. Four phones, and every single one of them have the exact same screen, just scaled up in size.
Yeah,
The
I mean, it's like
same
you have the
size notch
mini,
on
you have
every.
the max. It's just,
Yeah, and you know those 6.1-inch displays. The fact that there is no variety ends up helping them because apps like Spotify and YouTube and so many other apps just work better on them because developers only have to change the size. You know, the notch is the same, the curved radius on the edges of the display are same. Only thing that changes is display size, and those
yeah,
are
I mean, it's sort
mostly
of like you just make one thing, and it's like, and also like, like things like airdrop and like, the stuff like, I think the biggest thing is like iPhones last a long time, but the thing is, people like just
OS
immediately buy
updates.
the new one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the best thing about Apple. I will give that as an Android fanboy, bro. Apple has amazing policy when it comes to their updates.
Don't
5 years.
I
So
appreciate Apple's like phones and like iPads, but the MacBooks, no, 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 no. Or like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think
yeah,
it's a bad product, but like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not. It like the
dude, they shook
price
up the
thing.
market. You heard about their new MacBooks, right? The ones with the M1
The
chip.
the one I like, I'll tell you, is the MacBook Air. For a
Uh huh.
price thing as a product, I think it's a good product. But like, like the pro shit. Oh my goodness,
Hmm.
you know?
Oh yeah, the Pro shit. That is a complete ripoff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Until
also
now,
like there's so many
yeah.
like the
Honest,
the
you ever heard of
laptop.
that M1 chip?
Yeah, I heard about it, but like it's just like know the name, but I don't really understand it.
So it's basically Apple made a chip that's super efficient, right?
Is it for
And
the what's it for?
it's for the MacBooks.
Uh huh.
It's
Yeah,
for their
I'm
computing.
very illiterate, so I really couldn't comprehend
So
very much.
it's changing up the game really in a good way. It's causing so much more competition in the silicone uh department of things, you know, like how AMD and Intel are going at it. Now Apple just stepped up out of nowhere and they're doing crazy things, bro.
Well, I think the
There's
biggest
rumors
thing is
about them
like
having a.
Apple is so established, like they have really all the engineers. They just kind of suck them in.
Mhm,
You know what I'm saying? And also like it's based in America versus something like Samsung and shit like that. It just America,
mhm.
sort of provides a lot of like wealth and shit. Sort of gets in these people.
America provides a. You ever heard of this? It's like a. It's this ratio. The price, the what is it called? It's like how much you pay your employer to the quality of things being made. You know?
Yeah, that's the one thing I actually learned about. It's like people think about like businesses or whatever. You're trying to make money, so you think you would pay like less for your employees or something, trying to save. But
Mm,
actually, like the true like entrepreneurs know that you should actually, if you want to make more money, you should pay your employees more because they'll create a better product. They'll be more invested. And I was like,
mhm.
dang, that makes so much sense. But I was
Yeah,
thinking of
and
a
that's
juvenile
that's
one.
kind of what happened, like compared to Japan and Chinese. and the
Well,
Chinese are
I
kind
mean,
of catching on to it.
Japan is very similar to America because we kind of made their country. I don't
But their
necessarily.
ethics are on a whole nother level.
Yeah, but like China, of course. I mean, the shithole that is.
But dude, they're getting a lot better. They're getting a whole lot
Dude,
better.
it might be
Think,
better, but you're getting it off of slavery. You know, you're
well,
stealing ideas like the copyright laws over there. You should like if you look glance at it, you're like, oh my god.
oh yeah, bro.
They
I
just straight up
understand that
steal.
it's
They
bad.
steal from Europe. They steal from America. They steal from Japan. Everybody. They just steal. You know. They
Yeah. Their
literally
F-22 Raptor design, they stole that,
they
and
stole
they
like
still effed
legitimately
up.
everything. And the thing is, they're the second richest country in the world, so they have these resources, and so like they can, they have money, and it entices like engineers and companies, and they're like, hey, that's why there's so many ways why China is like our greatest competition, enemy, whatever you want to say.
Well, they really have though been getting better. Like in America,
I know they're
especially in
getting better.
America
I want them to get like socially better. You know what I'm saying?
too. Yeah.
Because
But that's the problem with America. America isn't socially too good too. Like
well,
when it
I
comes
know
to the
that's what
tech
I always
industry,
say.
America
Like
has it on hold. But when it
America
comes to
isn't
regular,
good. America isn't perfect, but I think the slavery thing and that everything on along those lines. I mean, it's really horrific if you a simple Google search. Everybody. The funniest thing is that everybody knows what China does. The censorship, the abuse of like they're getting people in like making these products. Everything's made in China somehow. You know what I'm saying? Stealing other people, like lower like Asian countries. They're getting immigrants and forcing them to work. Are ridiculous, and it's just a bad situation. And
yeah,
the copyright laws is like terrible. There's pretty much no copyright laws. You can literally pretty much just steal anything, and it's legal. And I think the worst thing is like if you say if you just like partner with the government, they give you like all this shit so you can like um say for example if you want to like make a little, I don't know, like a like a tech store or something. They have stores where they legitimately copy Apple products and like Android products, like the
oh,
exact
for
copies.
sure, homie. You are.
And
I
it's
know you're
like,
right on it.
yeah, I mean,
You can go
I could
to.
shit on China for 5 hours. I mean, I love the culture. I mean, it's one of the most ancient civilization in all of human history, and it's never the people, obviously, you know, but there's so much, authoritarian capitalism is basically, that's it's what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's just like going back to Apple. I just like one thing that's funny. I guess this is more political. Is like no one really talks about the slavery in China. And, everybody talks about we're trying to help everybody, but but they still buy Apple products and other things like that. Where people are suffering while it's just like it's this it's hard to, I guess, solve.
yeah. But America, their problem is their manufacturing. Like America, it's like weird. Like, cause in our automotive and in our tech,
Like
like in our
America's biggest thing
Silicon
is just
Valley,
like everything is just trying to get automated. You know what I'm saying? People
but
are out of
it's like
jobs.
high quality in the very few automotive industries we have, like in Ford and GMC and General Electric. We do very good. Our quality is very good in those fields, you know. But when it comes to actual manufacturing usable household goods, we're trash. Oh
Well,
my
it's
God, is
we're
America trash?
trash because we don't put people in slavery. We have laws. And think about it. If you could pay $5 someone without any health benefits, ridiculous amount of work hours, right? And
Hmm.
that is somebody else's, a la China, right? Versus you have another country, America, where you have to pay this person. You got to treat them like a human being, right? And you have health benefits and retirement plans and work injuries and the best environment for everybody and try to get a good job. And if you are
Hmm.
like Apple or something like that, why would you spend $30,000 for one product when you can spend 500? You know what I'm saying? Bigger profit
Hmm.
margin, and that's why a lot of the things is usually made from other countries. Like a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
Products we have is because and I personally know I know like certain people who actually work in these sort of like, it's usually I know like like clothing, where they make clothes and stuff. I don't know
Hmm.
that much about like obviously I've never been to China or anything, but there's so many documentaries and it's kind of public knowledge at this point. But it's such a huge issue. It's like, what do you really do? Because you can't, like, you're not gonna campaign about that. It's like nothing you can really do.
Yeah. They're really, but still, I think America really needs to step it up because we get paid so much. At least the quality should be there.
Well, I mean, what are you missing? What do you like? What do you want?
Okay, obviously our production mass is not going to be there, because quality it does take time. But our but
I
I'm
mean, you
saying the
got to think
quality
about
is
it. Like all this shit. Like think about what America has. America has Google, YouTube, Facebook, all of this shit. America has Apple. You know, America
yeah, that's what I'm saying. When it comes
basically
to
what happens.
these are the three things America's good at. Aviation, we're on a whole nother level.
The thing is,
Literally,
America has
no plane
only.
from Africa. I'm not talking about any country. I'm talking the entire continent of Africa cannot fly in America
Yeah,
because of the safety standards are just simply not met.
yeah. I mean, you can keep going.
I mean, like, so we got basically aviation lockdown. We're one of the best, and then I believe Germany and some European companies uh are right up there with us.
Yeah,
And
like
then you
Germany
got
is such a big deal too. They have so
and then
much crap.
software and silicon. I'm gonna throw them in the same bunch. We have that on lock. Our software is unparalleled with our especially with our defense budget actually mostly going to them. It's our like we have software no one even compares to us except for China, but it's not like
I mean,
it's
Japan
not
has a lot
comparing
of
in the way you
software
think.
too. It's just like Japan doesn't have that much
But
money.
like China owns Tencent and China owns Alibaba and China owns they own huge software companies like us, but think about the reputation of Alibaba compared to Google.
Yeah, I mean
Alibaba has a real bad reputation, but it's huge profit in the industry.
I think a big thing is that like I was saying about copyright laws, they were just gonna like steal stuff like Google and Facebook and like make a copy or something. And now
Hmm.
you have like Google and other things trying to make stations in China. And then another thing is like, well, now you're just complying to their rules, but then their logic is like, if we don't do this, they're just gonna steal and copy it. It's like, what do we do? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
China is such a like. There's like let's say you go to war. It's like that's not gonna solve that much of anything because like if we go to war, I think that that war is kind of inevitable. The more that I think about it, I just like it's like because you're trying to take down a dictatorship. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Hmm.
how are you gonna peacefully do that? It's like they're not gonna listen to your negotiation. They're not gonna be like, "Hey, look, you shouldn't treat people this way. We are human beings. Hey, you should have democracy." It's like they're not gonna fucking listen to you. We've been trying to do that for decades now. I mean, look at the
Decades.
Cold
Yeah,
War.
for real.
The Cold War, Nazis, Middle East, North Korea, Vietnam.
Hmm.
It's like, and the scary thing is, it's like America and China are pretty much the only guys in the entire planet. They're like, they're top dogs. They have no other competition. And America is like, obviously we discussed its issues, and like me, a lot of people fearing, like a civil war sort of scenario, and it seems like it. It's like, and as soon as that opportunity hits, China is just gonna swoop in, and they're most likely gonna succeed. And when they do, when they have America, it's like the whole world is just pretty much helpless. Even if like China, even if Japan and
No,
Germany and
I
Britain.
think Israel. I never really thought about this, but I don't think China's going to be the next world power. I think Israel's going to be it.
Well, I think like Saudi Arabia.
Oh
It's sort of
no,
like,
they will never. The way they treat their people, like
well, the thing about it is Saudi Arabia is so rich. Like the royal family, they have trillions of dollars. It's like I always thought like Saudi Arabia would like take over the entire Middle East, like Great Britain and like Canada and
the
Australia, stuff
reason they
like that.
can't do that, the reason they can't do that is because of how the Middle East is. Think about it. Britain, Russia, and America couldn't put a debt in Afghanistan. Fucking
Oh
Afghanistan.
no, they did, bro. It's inside. You can't. You don't have no idea. That's just a facade. Inside, bro. Let me tell you. After the U.S. got into Afghanistan, the heroin production went up at a
That was Britain.
no no.
Britain does that with every fucking country. It did it with China. It didn't with everybody.
It wasn't Britain. You gotta
Britain's bitch
understand,
ass.
The
Oh my god.
UN and everything. They're all like together. That's another
Hmm.
issue. Is like like world government and stuff like that. As it's like people trying to, a lot of people thinking that nation states are obsolete and etc. And I don't think it's perfect, but there are issues with what would you call it, the uh, global government, and it's like because you're trying to run the entire planet, and you got to understand the rights you would have to give up for that to work and everything. And people say borders are racist. It's like, well, I mean, come on.
But still, there's no way that Saudi Arabia
And I'm
could
not saying it would, but I
get.
think like if you really look into, not really like if you really look into the deep infrastructures of the government, it's like Saudi Arabia. The big thing about it is like it's so rich. It has a ridiculous amount of money, and it's all, and it can sort of influence things, and like Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Kyrgyzstan, like a lot of smaller nations are like,
Well, they are so rich, but their infrastructure is based off of a heavily,
because you think about like places
what
like
you call it,
Dubai.
shaky foreground.
It's just like with a lot of other countries. It's like the top 1%.
Like what happened with Saddam Hussein?
So
If Saudi Arabia starts to flex its muscles like
what?
Saddam Hussein did, America's gonna come
No,
in,
no, no.
fuck them
That's
up,
not
and
what I'm
teach them a
saying. I'm
lesson.
saying is Saudi Arabia isn't like overt. It's not an overt operation. It's a very covert. It like Saudi Arabia. There has the American government that they have given individuals in the trillions of
Wait, wait,
dollars.
wait.
That's a whole nother can of
You
worms.
wait. I think you meant to switch those around.
There's
Like
an
covert means hidden.
that's another. Well, I mean, America's always
Saudi
been trying
Arabia
to
doesn't hide
because
anything,
the
homie.
reason
Trust me. They behead more people than ISIS did.
you have no idea. It's not hiding. It's demonizing. The plan is try to do in history is that they try to demonize the smaller Islamic
Hmm.
nations, so it can sort of gain influence and sort of have that power. I mean, every country kind of does this. I mean, America is a key example. We have our toes in every country you could imagine. China does it, Russia does it, Britain does it, all the Europeans, everybody does it. You know,
Hmm.
and it's sort of like it goes into like imperialism and stuff like that, and sort of you're never satisfied with what you have. You just keep wanting more. But the thing is, I don't know that much about it. I'm not that very educated on that subject, but I think a big thing of that is like America. Like, there's a concern that America is gonna like collapse.
Hmm.
The whole ideas of like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, how they said political parties would be the downfall of America, because if America were to ever fall, it would fall from within versus without. And it just seems the the more days we pass, it just seems more likely. Because if you said this like in 2012, 2013, people would laugh at you, me included, because like that didn't make any sense. But now you're like, holy shit, the idea of a civil war or like secession doesn't seem that ridiculous, does it?
No.
You look at the recent elections, you look at political parties, and
Actually,
like,
I don't think we're gonna have civil war. Well, it if we have civil
I don't
war, I
think
think
we
it's gonna
would.
be over the gun issue.
Well, that's not. It's like you don't. It's not gonna be one issue. It's gonna be a lot of things. I think. No, what I'm scared of is like I don't think we would have civil war because if something were like that to happen, it's like they would release like these freaking demons that ripped apart 10 Vietnamese people with their bare hands, and there's no way we could do anything against them, like seals and stuff, and like special ops. So wouldn't have a chance, but and that might create a worse, like more tyrannical government. And that's what I always say is like, just be able to communicate with each other. And it's like, what I'm saying? We're all just Americans.
Hmm.
Let's try to get along. And I think there's many reasons why it's like this. I think a big thing is that we don't have Nazi Germany, we don't have Korea, we don't have China, we don't have Russia right now. It's not we versus them. And when you aren't we versus them, it's just like you start finding issues with each other, and that's what's happening right now.
Hmm.
And of course, it's just basic human struggles, like greed, corruption, power, and whatever. And it's always gonna be present, And I'm glad to live in a, I'm glad we're not in World War II. I'm glad we're not in the Civil War, stuff like that. I'm glad we're not in that kind of scenario, but we still got issues.
Yeah, we do have our fair share of issues.
Yeah, I just because it's like you hear about like these kids in colleges with bats and stuff. It's like, come on now, what are we doing? Well, I know, because it's our generation. It's our people. It's like I care so much, and then the questions are like so convoluted. It's like it's hard to these are young people. It's you kind of like if you told us to run a country, I mean, dude, what would you do?
Hmm.
We were just kids. And even if you're like 20 plus, it's like how much life experience, and you got to think about all the nuances of being a person in a nation, etc. And of course, we have like first world problems, and technology and stuff amplifies those things.
Yeah. I think first world problems is like I think the biggest first world problems is what should we do with our experiences. Obviously, we have much better like simple things like much better personal hygiene, much better educational opportunities, and these things feel like they should be standard for everyone, really. But they're
Yeah, I
not.
mean, I know we're never gonna get rid of all problems. I mean, that's a whole philosophical debate, but it's always like it's always the saying, be better today than you were yesterday.
Mm,
And I think it's like we have an issue, and sometimes we don't even have an issue, but we like to create it because uh, if you can solve that problem, it makes you feel better about yourself, it makes you feel
mm,
more accomplished. And another issue, mental health and people trying to. And I think the biggest reason for that is that people really don't have a reason why they're living as a human beings, finding a purpose. And I know this. I mean, this has been talked about since ancient times, but I think it's so prevalent now because it's hard finding a job. Is like what should you do to be a fulfilling person? What is it like to be a man? What is it like to be a woman? What is it like to be a person? What should you do with your life? What is best for you? What is best for your family, humanity, whatever you want to say? And it's sort of like it's like the problem with information and obesity. There's
mm,
so many options. Everybody, like a personal thing is like everybody says, oh, college or whatever, do this, get this job, or like whatever. But it's like there's so many options. It's kind of overwhelming, and it's kind of hard to find your way because there's so much
mhm.
going on.
That is true.
Man, we always get into these freaking depressing topics when it's just us two. We need some lighthearted. That's why we need Rico in there.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss.
I don't think they're ignorant. It's just like we just.
We just know a lot, I guess.
I think it's not even that. It's just
No,
like,
I think we just
cause
care a
like
little. Mm, mm.
yeah, I think it's just like it's hard for me. I don't want to like I don't want this crap to be real. You know what I'm saying? I don't
I
want
think we
to. I
worry
want,
a lot more, I guess.
but like it's hard for me. Like I try so hard to just like block it out. Cause like
Hmm.
I've always said when I was, especially when I was younger, it's like uh, I don't think I'm stupid, but I act stupid because life is a lot better
A
that
lot
way.
easier that way.
Not even easier, it's just like it's fun, you know.
Hmm. For
Because you
sure.
can you can have you can have a hard life and be stupid too, but it's just like it's easier for you to like not acknowledge a lot of things, I guess, because you're
Yeah.
more preoccupied. I
I
mean,
guess
I'm not
that's
trying
kind of
to
like the
attack
difference
anybody,
between
but
us and our
it's just
parents
like
too.
my personal experience, I guess.
Like I think that's
It,
the difference between us and our parents. Our parents also, I think they worry even more than we do sometimes.
well, I mean, it's being an adult, you know.
Yeah. Having responsibilities.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what's happening right now. We're becoming adults, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like I started Vinland Saga. I'm like
So
14 episodes in. Would recommend, dude. I tried so hard. I was like, bro, this what do you call it? This Christmas break, I'm gonna read Berserk, bro. Guess what? Okay, so average chapter of manga is like 40 to like 50, 60 pages, right? Guess how many
okay.
chapters in one chapter of Berserk?
How many chapters are in one chapter of Berserk?
No, how many pages? Normally it's like 40 to 50, 60,
One
something
hundred
like
and
that.
59.
It's 118. So it's three times the normal manga length. So I gave up on that. Dude, like
How
you
many
have no
chapters are there?
dude at 363 or something.
Oh shoot.
Oh yeah. Dude, he went to like One Piece, bro. But like it's like with Hunter, each chapter is 183 pages. That is gonna take you 5 years to read one chapter, and it's not freaking fun. So what I decided is there's an anime for Berserk, but it's like very short. It doesn't go all the way. Like it's not that
Mm-hmm.
far. It like stops right after, like right before the really good shit, which is the eclipse. That's
Mm-hmm.
mainly reason like when people start saying this is the best manga of all time. So what I'm gonna do is just I'm gonna watch that anime and then start reading when it like where it left off.
Mm.
But the only manga I'm reading right now is Goodnight Pun Pun. I'm like,
You said that's like real deep, right?
what?
You said that was like really deep, right?
Like it deals with a lot of really touchy subject, and it's like really not even deep. It's like makes you bad.
Sensitive.
It makes you feel bad being a human being. Makes you really realize just how fucked up the world is, and kind of like you kind of realize that the world isn't just cupcakes and butterflies and whatnot. Really hard subjects is what it is, you know. But I
Mm.
think every human being should read it. But I think you should be like emotionally mature so you can sort of take lessons from it versus just bawling your eyes out the whole time. You can do both, but you know, being able to like like take a good
Like,
lesson from certain things, like like watching like Death Note when you're in sixth, fourth grade, fifth grade versus like when you're in high school. You know,
mm.
sort of like that. And I think that certain things of it, just certain, like I wouldn't want Rico to watch it. Maybe I would. It's like, like I kind of view Rico as like my kid, so I'm like trying to. I was like, oh God, don't do this.
Dude, I don't. I really don't. I don't
Like
know
I would
what
say, I
to say about Rico. Like he's not
do
a young little kid, but
you. I know you're. I'm only 20 chapters in. It's like 140 or something. But the good thing is, bro, each chapter literally 1.5 minute to read, maybe two.
for real,
Yeah, I swear, bro.
you're cutting out a bit.
It's like shocked because like I don't have that much like experience because the only thing I've read is Attack on Titan, so I'm just basing it on that.
Oh,
I know that's not a very good,
I haven't read any
but
mangas.
yeah, I've always sucked at reading, so I was like, oh my gosh. But then I was like, oh, I'm trying to make one. It's like I might, got to get as much information in as possible, so you know how to, so don't make a shitty one.
Mhm.
Shoot, I could talk to you about that, but I don't know if you want to listen the story and stuff.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I know. I'm
uh,
gonna like because I just have like a shell basically, but because like all the characters just based off of the people at my high school basically. A
oh,
lot of them are
what are you gonna call it?
human.
Human. Oh yeah, I remember. The minder.
Yeah, you're well. Is it's just basically the sort of appearance wise, but like the stories, it's just everybody's
All right,
like
forget
story
you.
is
Now. I'm
just
just kidding.
depressing.
Depressing.
Brayden's in
Well, I
there.
like depressing.
Yeah, you end up so. Okay, so I'm the main character. Whoop de doo.
Forget you.
But
I'm just kidding. I'm
William
kidding.
Bro, William and my cousin are like the biggest I get like inspirations for the main character and like myself.
Mhm.
But if I were to say like who is me, who did I use? There's a different character. His name is Rydell. He's I would say that's my favorite character. So there's like the first arc is about because since it's called Human and the basic
Mhm.
theme of it is trying to show what just what being a human is about and like different cultures and different backgrounds and things like that and the differences and just educate people on how the world is, I guess, how being a
Mhm.
person is different according to whatever. Like
Yeah,
I wanted to talk about
traditions and
like
stuff.
yeah, like because the big thing is always based on like yin and yang, which is like good and bad and whatnot. So like the good of one thing and the bad of one thing. Like first we start off in America, then we go to India, then we go to Europe,
I
specifically
want to,
like,
if
but
you don't
not
mind me
Europe.
asking,
Yeah.
but like, what would I want you to like go to each country and like say like what's the good and bad of everything?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. I was getting to that.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
So, first thing is like the first arc is kind of shaky, but it basically there's the individual. It's like the idea of like the villain or the antagonist. They're not really villains, yeah, but they are because they're like mafia people. So
Mhm.
what it is that the idea that it's more beneficial being like evil, not evil necessarily, like corrupt and stuff. Humanity
Mhm.
rewards that more than being trying to be like an honest person and stuff like that. This is the basic premise, right?
Mhm.
The theme at least, and the lesson is that yeah, it's like very materialistic, and you find that uh, it's not really like getting a hundred on a test that you cheated on versus
Mhm.
getting like a 88 on a test on the same test that you worked hard for. A lot of people would say the 88 is better. You know what I'm saying?
But the hundred's better.
Well, yeah, that was like a bad example because I talk about it's basically like an empty shell because you don't feel, and it talks about like crimes and whatnot, but it's not that strong. But then they basically the U.S. government, they have like these superpowers, right? And the mafia guy, he basically kills himself, and I'll write a sad. I wrote in a sad anime backstory and everything, but then the US government finds these kids because they're like 15, 16, and they're like really fucking strong, and they have these superpowers, and a lot of these other people do, and they're like studying these people, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And they basically discuss with these kids, it's like, hey, there's a very big possibility of war between this Alexander the Great and Khalid bin Walid, which is they're like which they're in. Alexander the Great is in Europe, and Khalid bin Walid is like the Middle East, and they're scared
Mhm.
that there's gonna be a war between the two, and there's conflict and whatever. But India is trying to sort of like stop it, and like a lot of other countries. So it's like I want y'all to go to India and try to help them out and see what's going on. So that's why they go to India, right? This is what the government tells them. And so they go to India, and then but under the guise that they're just like transferring for like a year just to like get a different experience because they quote unquote get chosen from their school and their parents led them and whatnot. And so now they go to India, right? And they
Mhm.
basically meet like the president or the prime minister, and because since it's a
Yeah.
government thing, they get to meet him. And I talk about the different culture and the positives of that. I talk about is that they're a lot more loving and like very they care about their family and like the people
Very
around
tight
them.
knit communities.
Yeah, they care about the people around them a lot, and it's a lot more, because you hear about all these in American society of like people like not having a really good family relationship, and a positive of that, and just like traditions and like like talking about
Cultures in general.
cultural differences, like just talking about hey, I appreciate puja, which is like a Hindu celebration. Hey, this is cool. Hey, there's good
You
people,
said
there's
puja.
bad people, right? And like,
Hmm.
so now there's five main characters, and one of them is Jack. He and the like the place they live, it's ancient, like an old royal sort of building. Like they used to be like royals, but now they're kind of just like rich, but like not royal. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So there's this girl, and she's about their age, like a year or two younger, and they're about like 16, 16, 17, around that age, 16 more like.
Hmm.
And this girl is like, they in Hinduism, there's this tradition which where you put like this decoration bracelet thing on, like the sister put it on their brothers, just as like a like appreciation sort of thing. And the girl sort of does that
Hmm.
with all with especially Jack, and they from this connection as like a brother sister sort of thing. And they're in like puja or something like that. And uh, what they hear is that a lot of they mainly hear that a lot of women and like younger like girls have been getting kidnapped, and one of the girls happened to be
Hmm.
that girl, like I was talking about earlier. And now they're
Hmm.
like, oh my god, what's going on? They're trying, obviously, and they're trying to figure this out, and they listen to the locals trying to kind of get to what's going on. And they hear a lot about like corruption, like so the prime minister, he has a younger brother, right?
Hmm.
And his younger brother pretty much just the gangster, and he's raped a bunch of people and pretty much does whatever the hell they want. And these all criminal organizations, it's just talks about the corruption, all of that. You obviously know a lot about that. I'm not gonna get into that, but
So far, it's like spot on. Like I'm just saying,
yeah, I mean, I
like
you expect
India
me to
in the
know about
world. Yeah,
it.
yeah. Because India in the world, I'm just telling the viewers, has the highest rates of rapes and
Yeah, yeah.
kidnappings
Oh my
of
god, it's
women
horrific.
in
Like,
the
let me.
entire world.
So
And it's very common for police,
very corrupt,
children of police,
very corrupt.
children of prime ministers, children of anyone who has
Hmm.
social stance to be little
Yeah, because
bitches.
they
It's
get
like
away
that
with it.
stereotypical role. Oh, my
They
dad's the
get away
mayor.
with it.
It's literally like that in India. It's literally
So
like that.
now, they do this, and they finally there's other shit that happens, but basically they find that all these there's a bunch of gangs and people who are basically doing this. And the main characters, they sort of get closer and closer trying to find it. And they finally find a bunch of girls, and they find that the girl they were mainly looking for, she's been taken advantage of, and as all
Mm.
the shit that comes with that. And the prime minister brother, they find him, and the prime minister actually shoots him, shoots his own brother. But it's actually just trying to shut him up. But he goes on like he's crying, like he didn't know anything about it, tries to trick them, and that's part of his power. But basically, you just figure out more about how just how fucked up the world is, basically, in like that India, South Asian sort of scenario, and how culture,
Mhm.
basically. And so the main reason they go to to trying to stop this war, basically what happens is that the war, it doesn't seem like they're going to go to war. So they're like, oh, whatever, I guess we don't need to do much. And they basically go back home. The five main characters, now it's like around Christmas time, and this this arc is mainly about like the streets. Excuse
Mhm.
me, which is like the hood, or like being a poor person in America, and being a minority, or white, white trash, whatever you want to say, being black, brown, Asian, whatever,
Mhm.
just being like in a bad, about like Detroit and Cleveland and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna get into that one as much because a lot of people kind of know about all those things, right? And like police brutality and
Mhm.
racism, and it just basic shit that we've been talking about for years. But that's what that's about. And then after that, they I haven't decided yet because I gotta figure it out. But they either go to Europe to yeah, they go to Europe, and because the four like the historical figures, they're based on the four biggest religions in the world, which is Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism. That's why
Uh-huh.
you go to India, then you go to Europe, which is I base it on Joan of Arc and Christianity.
Mhm.
And she has died, and because they're sort of talking about the Christ sacrificing himself and blah blah blah. I'll connect that and stuff like that. That's not very important. And the main issue is that like all four of them, they used to be like friends, and they were students of Musashi Miyamoto, who's a long samurai and whatever. But Khalid bin Walid, who was a pretty much the greatest Muslim commander, like a military commander of all time. And Alexander
Mhm.
Great, obviously, he's great conqueror.
Khalid bin Walid, he was the navy
Yes, he
leader,
was a
right?
military leader. He was second only to Muhammad. And
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
so basically, they were best friends, and certain shit happened. And the reason they're kind of going to war is because Genghis Khan, who has a region in like Asia, because they're Alexander
Mhm.
Great's in Europe, and Khalid bin Walid is in the Middle East. So Genghis Khan is like
Mhm.
he's trying to basically take over the world essentially, and his greatest
Again.
competition are those four. So he's like, if I could get Khalid bin Walid and Alexander to kill each other, go to war, it'd be a lot easier for him,
Mhm.
right? So, do you know about Subutai? Subutai was like Genghis Khan's like the most dangerous general. He was terrible. He's like everything bad you can imagine. He's done it. And Subutai, what he
Mhm.
plans is that Khalid bin Walid in this scenario has a sister, and Alexander has like an adopted brother, and it's like more siblings too. They're like his generals,
Mhm.
and so they kind of like they're younger, and they're like so the and they kind of like they used to be best friends, Khalid and Alexander. So and now they grow up, but the issue relies is that Khalid's um, sister is raped, and the problem is that they think that Alexander's brother did it because Subutai, he has a power that he can sort of mimic like the appearance and like a octopus. You know what I'm saying? He can
Mhm.
mimic the.
So this is like a really political one, isn't it? You're really targeting
It's
political.
it's just like everything it is to like it's just like Hunter x Hunter. It's like just
Mhm.
talk about everything. Because I want to make it like the
You
sense of
know,
humor
yeah.
because it's just gonna be my sense of humor. Just like just being a person.
Mhm.
And then so basically he mimics Alexander the Great's brother, so it actually looks like him, and commits the assault. And after this, she commits suicide because especially with that culture, it's very that's a that's one of the worst things. It's very tough recovering from that. And you know and then obviously Khalid is pissed, and so Khalid goes and kills Alexander's brother. But this time it's actually Alexander's brother, like not Subutai.
Hmm.
So Alexander finds out that his brother was killed by his best friend. So obviously he's pissed, and Khalid is, of course, his sister, his whole, is falling apart because of Alexander's brother. So this is why he's triggered, and now they want to go to war.
I just love how to like you use these common phrases just to
Bro,
explain these horrific
bro, like you know what I'm
situations.
saying? It's like I
Like,
could, but
so he's triggered because he raped his
but,
sister.
but yeah, but like because it's easier to explain it that way. But I don't mean to normalize things, but so and
I know you don't. It just sounds
yeah,
kind of funny. Like I think that in itself is a way of humor.
yeah,
Like
and so
you ever, it's like that. Explaining World War II is like Russia wanted to beat France's bitch ass because someone shot the fucking head of Austria's bitch
bro, a
ass, or
teenager
well, his
freaking
head
started
technically.
World War I. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, this is crazy. I mean, it would have started
I mean,
anyway,
they
but
were really
like
fucked.
the reason for blame,
They were like then
huh?
Europe was just like one, like if someone breathed wrong, they were just about to murder each other.
Hey, dude, I for real. And that teenager freaking threw a bomb at
Bro,
someone,
they
and it
freaking
like
blew his car up.
shit. Yeah, you know what I heard happened? The driver pulled up on the street, and then people started throwing stuff and bombs at him, and he drove away, and he drove to a hospital to get treatment for them, and he turned down the
Oh
wrong
yeah,
lane, and
yeah,
that
that yeah.
people who were
No,
throwing bombs.
he was like waiting, and he turned. He was like, "Oh shit!"
Oh shit, dude, that was
I
so.
mean, it was just like the big thing
Oh
was that everybody got sick and tired of monarchies. They were just like, "Bro, fuck this."
yeah,
That is also, I
me
hate
too, dude. I'm
monarchies.
sick
It's
and
like,
tired.
bro, imagine having a king and queen. Imagine thinking you're special because you're born in a royal family, bro.
Born
Fucking
with certain
loser.
rights. Oh my god.
Because it's like the another thing is just that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts.
I think constitutional monarchies
Well,
aren't too
yeah,
bad.
I mean, I know, but it's just like me being an American.
Like regular monarchies, yeah, most of them end up being
I mean,
terrible.
it's just like
They'll run good for a while,
they can
but
be
eventually
they
it's inevitable
they
that
can
someone.
have good monarchs, but it's just like the whole idea of it is like no one should have that much power. It's just we've
Yeah, it
seen what
really is.
happened.
Yo, Tesla sells low cost solar panels to like put on your roof.
Yes, I mean that's
You think
we've
I
been
should buy
trying.
one?
We thought about getting solar panels, but it's like, who's gonna set it up? Is oh my gosh. I know, like in the future,
I'll
they're
set it up.
definitely
You pay for the solar panels, and I'll just set it up.
because I know about like little solar panels
two
and
thousand
stuff.
dollar installation fee.
But the thing about, yeah, solar panels are really good. I don't know why it's not more, like you don't see it as much. I know electricity is more just like it's what do you say? It's like more, not
Sustainable.
just not like it's more reliable. I think more powerful.
Oh, solar power?
Like it's more powerful.
Wait. Whoa, hold on. You lost me. Wait, what are we talking about? We're
Solar
talking
power
about.
versus electricity. Like I was wondering, like why isn't
Well,
solar
solar power
power more like
produces.
prevalent?
No, solar power does produce
Well, I mean, I
electricity.
know,
It
but
just.
like electricity is just like We have more of it, I think.
It's kind of cool to see how solar panels work.
Yeah, actually, because I know my grandma used to have a bunch of solar panels, and I seen like
It's like, if I remember correctly, the photons from the sun, all their waves and stuff, energize the particles
hmm
inside of the what you call it, solar panel. Dang, short-term memory loss. But it energizes the molecules inside the solar panel, and it excites the electrons and causes them to flow, just with that little bit of photon action. If that's what I remember correctly.
yeah, I mean it's just smart people figure it out.
Yeah, I figured it out. I'm gonna order me a Tesla Model 3. Wait, Model 3?
The funny thing about Tesla is like people.
Give me a second. My
Okay.
parents are calling me. Yeah.
Somebody come get her. We out here vibing with. You guys like my singing skills is fire right now. Bruh, so like let me tell you about this story I'm gonna write. It's gonna be epic. Really hope I get to do it. Somebody donate to my Patreon. I gotta go to college. This bitch is expensive. Don't have a Patreon. Maybe I should start a OnlyFans. That'd be epic. Yes. Shoot. Let's see. Bro, I've been trying to make this figure because I'm trying to do this poster drawing thing, and it's gonna be like Michelangelo's God hands and stuff. But it's really hard to freaking set this crap, man.
Yeah,
Dude, I
it
was
is.
legit just talking to myself because it was just dead air. I was like, well, I might say something.
I'm sorry, bro. My dad was like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm here. I'm here." Dude.
Shoot. Let's see. Almost got it. Dude, this
Oh, they got dual motor all wheel drive for 42,000. It's still more expensive than a
is
truck,
really
but
expensive. The funny thing about Tesla is like,
but
because the biggest, I guess, positive people say about electric cars is that no gasoline, so like less pollution or whatever. But
mhm.
like, it actually takes more like carbon and stuff like pollution essentially for a electric car versus like and like the octanes of a gas car because it just that like it's instead of coming out of your car exhaust pipe, it comes out of factory tops. I was like, bruh.
It's not. It's especially since Tesla is improving so much. It's definitely
I
going
mean,
down.
it's
But
I'm sure it's gonna get better, but like
the
right
same.
now, it's kind of like, bruh.
I mean, technically, the same thing's happening with Ford. They're still exhausting so much resources to actually produce, melt, and frame and manufacture all the resources. The only difference is Ford and Chevy and GMC. They do it on a way bigger scale than Tesla.
Yeah,
You know. So Tesla's, putting out the same amount of resources to manufacture a smaller amount of cars, but they're getting
yeah, I
better.
know. I mean, you have the
As
Elon Musk,
people,
and the guy's a freaking genius, and he's got like
yeah.
a bunch of no, but I just find it funny, like a lot of those pretentious people that like, oh my gosh, I'm making the world a better place. I got an electric car, but in actuality, it's like feel kind of worse. I know I'm not. It just
Oh, these wheels. I'm sorry. Oh,
yes, sick,
oh yes, baby black. Oh my
bro. It does
god.
not
I'm sorry.
sound good right now.
These,
He's talking about
bro,
cars, by the way.
they
It's
just
not
look so
not
good.
anything weird. FBI.
Oh snap! Let me get those black wheels out.
Shoot, bro. I gotta.
Man,
I gotta. What's a bro?
what's a good
Bro, I
excuse?
bought an artist mannequin.
Just kidding.
This is so fun. It's kind of creepy though. I'm just imagining when I go to sleep, it's gonna come to life.
Dude, it costs $1,000 just for the color,
Dude,
huh?
it's so
What?
expensive. It's ridiculous.
What?
I mean, I understand why, but like, dang, boy, the normal public ain't getting it.
Yeah, it's, oh my god. The 1,000. Oh wait, never mind. Okay, never mind.
Shoot, you want to wrap this up? All right,
Sure, man.
all right, kids.
All right, bro.
This wasn't the most exciting of episodes, but hey, I thought, because since we've been lacking a little bit, might as well get one out. But I think we had some pretty good conversation. You know, um, you know,
$1,000 just for an interior change? Oh shoot, but it looks good. I'm sorry. Oh my god,
so he's gawking over there about
dude.
Tesla right now. But we will see y'all kids later. Uh, see you when the world falls
Bye bye.
apart in 2021. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.